Hey YouTube, just a quick update from the MightyJJK workbench. Picked up where I left off, cleaning up all these engine parts of all the flash on them, down to where I can get nice clean parts to then construct the engine. Quick update on the bases. I'm done staining them. Just stain the outside, just continuing to clean up this flash here. It's pretty nasty. Oh, and the kit doesn't come with a master cylinder. I'm negotiating with a vendor on eBay for one, and I'm toying with the idea of wiring the engine. And I have different wires, fish line and wire. Not gonna go crazy, but I'm gonna try to add just that next level of detail. Plugging away on the cleanup still. Now I'm marking where the cards go on each base, and that way it'll help me identify where to place the card when I go to glue it down. I filled in those gaps on the oil filter with thick super glue and then sanded it down into shape, and then assembled the engine block with thin Tamiya cement. With the bases pretty much done, I'm doing some rearranging. And I want to try to be able to add another row of shelves. Basically what I did was I raised my 1-48 World War II planes, then raised the Blue Angels and Thunderbirds up to the top, brought the bottom shelf down on top of the glass case, brought all these shelves down so that I could squeeze these two shelves that I had, squeeze those in there. So I just freed up a ton more space. There you see what that new row of shelves hopefully will be for cars and armor. So as I'm building the engine here and looking at my references, I'm noticing some structural things that I have to address now, I think, before I go any further. This has this wall here to accept the screws, but when you have the radiator piece in, you can see that there's a lot of space there that should be covered. This space here, I think it needs to be addressed now. And then you can also see a windshield wiper fluid container that should go there. And the directions say to take these rectangular pieces with the holes out. And then the battery on the other side should go up there. From there forward is really just sheet metal, it looks like, up to the back of the radiator and the fan, all the way up to the front. The problem is the hood goes right up against there, and this is a support and it's connected in those corners, so I don't want to cut it completely out. And that hood, I have to say, lines up very nicely, so I don't really want to disrupt that surface that it rests on. So I think what I'm going to do is sand down just the tops of these and then do sheet styrene on top of that from underneath the front fascia, butting up against the side of this wall, and then take these out as per the instructions. That will give me kind of this sheet metal to get some sense of realism. I'm going to have to do that. So here I am, scratch building again while I have this up. So I am expecting the master cylinder from eBay. Here's the distributor. So for sure I'm going to do the wires from the distributor down to the cylinders. This hose, big one here, comes with the kit. This piece needs to be extended out. It goes all the way to the wheel well. So I may build this piece here as well to go down in there. This is kind of a prominent hose. So there's a cylindrical structure there. That hose comes up, over and across, and then down and into, and here's the thing, it comes down and into this, and I don't think this is part of what is provided. So I might have to make that, and then, so then further down the rabbit hole we go. And then this hose to there, and then this one goes down to there. I'm gonna have to do similar stuff on the Monte Carlo, so I might as well get some practice now. As per instructions, I go about removing those hood supporting structures with my razor saw. Next, I again use my razor saw to remove the tops of those screw receiving pillars and clean up the surgery with a larger X-Acto blade. I test fit some sheet styrene over the pillars to ensure it would butt up against the wall. Then I test fit the radiator and battery pieces against the corrected support wall. Back to the engine. I test fit all the engine block components to each other, lightly sanding or scraping each part to fit precisely. Then clamped the part in place, attaching it with Tamiya thin cement, then adding, clamping, gluing each successive piece, finishing with the water pump on the front. Here's the engine with the pulleys and fan dry fit to the completed engine block. You can see on this reference photo that the pipe, so to speak, coming out of the air cleaner cover is angled down, and it's fairly long. And you know, this piece obviously isn't a true representation of that. I want to find a replacement for this pipe, and then when I put it on, angle it down, and then I'm going to need some sort of hose over here. Trying to determine what to use here to angle this down, and I have clear acrylic 1/8 inch. That might actually work. It's just slightly larger, but that's okay, because if I make it into an oval, I'll sand the tops and the bottoms, but then the width will still be right. So yeah, so let me pull one of these out. I want to address this area here now that I have those taken down. So I have some pretty thin sheet styrene. There's this ridge here. So I take it from there to the wall. I mark the depth of the new styrene plate and cut it to size. Then I mark and trim the piece to depth and glue the part in place from under the nose back to the support wall. To address that center bracket-like piece in front of the fan housing, I measure and cut another piece of thin sheet styrene, bend it slightly, and glue it in place, leaned against and lining up with the top of the support wall. So that's where I'm at to date and some of the things that I'll be working on next. So thanks for watching, and as always, happy modeling.